No, here's the other thing.
Okay.
What we do now is I'll take what Yamato said. Obviously, the idea of like unity is the big deal in League. Let's pivot to the current Fnatic. They're one of the teams that looks fucking sick right now, actually. It does look like, look, not everything's fixed, but fucking hell, all signs pointing up. Everything's looking really good. Like, even though they went 2-1, man, they could easily be a team that's in the playoffs by the look of the first 3 games, right, Dom?
Definitely. I mean, the big obvious thing is that they upgraded their bot lane massively. Oh man,
You're
it's
such a
gonna be
Rekkles
really.
hater. No, I'm kidding.
It's gonna be so hard for Rekkles fans to swallow this because this Noah guy looks so much crispier. He looks so much fucking better. I know it's only been 3 games, but when you just see his movement, you know he's on a fucking different level than Rekkles was when he was playing AD carry. I think that's the reason why Rekkles role swapped. He saw this motherfucker in solo queue. He's like, yeah, it's finished for me. I better fucking all in on the Janna because if this is what's gonna be in the league, we are fucked. Man, I really think the bot lane looks good. And, you know, you could tell the mentality in the team has shifted. Something Yamato said on the stream was, Humanoid will play the dog, even though he ran it the fuck down on Nico. The fact that he's even picking that champion shows that he actually trusts his team more than he trusted them before. Because before it was kind of like, if you remember in Winter, it was like, give me a 0 no matter what. Give me a 0 no matter what. I will try to fucking carry the game. And then they would just lose. Now it looks like he's bought in more to, you know, the whole team. He actually believes that his bot lane can carry. So I was actually pretty impressed with them. I know they lost that game. I mean, Oscar Innen had a bad game on the Malphite. They played against G2. It would have been a fucking miracle if they're beating G2 in the first week. And I don't think G2 played a bad game. Like, G2 played a bad second game, the one that they threw with all like the Nico bullshit. Sometimes G2 plays bad, but if G2 plays well, they should be the best team in the league. So I don't even care about that loss for Fnatic. I think they're so much better than they were in spring and winter.
Right. My observations at the moment are mainly going to be jokes, Yamato. So you give us some more analysis, then I'll come in with comedic relief.
I think they made a massive upgrade bot lane. I was concerned about Oscar Innen because I wasn't so impressed by him in spring, but I give him some leeway due to the fact that it was his first split and he joined a rather like dysfunctional team. I think the signs, as you mentioned with Humanoid, right? It's like Ozzy was the ultimate band-aid champion because you could play with jungle, you could play without jungle, you could push, you scaled, like you did everything. Like Ozzy was just inherently insanely broken because you could band-aid solve all your issues. It's like we were playing Ozzy, Lucian, Nami, Ornn, and a ganking jungler that went bot level 3, and we played the same pattern every game because we didn't need to address the fundamental issues of how we played 2v2 mid and how we connected with support jungle mid as well. So we just solved it like that. And I think in the context of this team so far, I think Noah and Trimby are insanely big upgrades. Like it's a plain robbery. I understand that Koi position, they felt the need to make a change, but Trimby has shown that he can be the best support in the league. He was, I think, when Rogue won the split for that duration of playoffs. And I think that he has shown a very, very high peak. And I think that in itself makes this bot lane super exciting. I think Noah is a fantastic mechanical player. I think Rekkles is one of those AD carries that comes from, in the past, AD carry was a role where staying alive was a fundamental, like the core thing. It's like if you stayed alive, AD carry stayed alive, you would win the fight. And now we are living in an era where AD carries need to squeeze as much as humanly possible, and you need to leverage your movement to really, really bait out all of these text inflated abilities that are in the game. It's like if you're playing Aphelios, you need to actually leverage the fact that you get move speed from your keystone. You have fleet footwork. You need to really, really squeeze the most out of your kit, and you need to have the confidence to leverage move speed to actually deny the enemy from playing the game. And you see Noah as this type of player. When we see the Aphelios players in the LPL or the LCK, or like even some in the LCS, like when we see Berserker players, like they're squeezing the champion. I think Kazi is also one of those players that did it, but sometimes he just squeezed too hard and it just pops in his face, right? That's the joke. But at least he's pursuing that idea of really squeezing the most out of something that is Aphelios. It's like understanding that dying for significant damage or pushing forward for significant damage and really leveraging your role to the absolute max. This is so important for AD because AD is just inherently broken. And I think Fnatic as a whole, I think Razork still is either playing really insane or he's like really dropping the ball in some moments. So he has that inconsistency about him. But I think as a whole, I think that in terms of how they convert mid to late game positions, I feel like they still due to the fact that Humanoid is there and also Trimby is there, I think that they have very good understanding of how to just win games when they're ahead. And I think the game against G2, that game was decided when they TP'd bot. And G2, I think, is the best team in the league by far, as you mentioned. And they did the TP on bot. Ari got all the freedom in the world, and there was that Drake fight that they mis-executed. But I don't mind a loss like that. That's a fair loss against a team that is better than you. I would put Fnatic right now in the top 3 together with Mad and G2. And then in regards to like the whole playing field, just because of how bad it was, probably like Team Heretic might be my 4th, just because of how shit.
No,
just because
fuck
of,
no.
But just because of how shit the whole league was,
Like, what do you mean by that? Like, you think that they're like a top 4 team, or you think they had like a top 4 week?
Top 4 week,
Okay,
they had
right.
a top
All
4
right.
week.
Right. I mean, they went 3-0, so that's fair. Okay.
It's like in regards to everything else that we saw, it's like I just wanted to make the point that I think that LEC was really garbage, the majority of it this weekend.
It's pretty tough. I've like lost almost all hope. It just feels like I'm watching LCS 2.0 when I watch LEC at this point. Do you think that there's a chance that a team makes semifinals? I think there's like almost zero chance.
The Worlds, he means.
Yeah, Worlds.
Well, the problem is it's only G2 at the moment that looks like they could do it, doesn't it? Like, I don't really believe BDS and MAD are actually that good when they go international. Anyway, let's just do this, right? So, First of all, I actually agree with Yamato's point. One of the problems is you can tell which ADCs think this is like 4 years ago and they're like ruler on fucking Samsung Galaxy. It's like, if you are the ADC now, it is your meta, bro. You have cried for 8 years. Now is when not only do you even have fucking like champions that do loads of abilities, you're also the man in the fight in every sense. Like, as long as your team peels for you, just go in there and just kill everyone. Like, just trust that you can do it. You don't have to stay on the edge of the fight. 'Cause I'm with you, Yamato. The old thing used to be just stay alive and do some damage, stay alive. Basically, at the time, in your head, you should just be playing classic 70s rock, the Bee Gees. Ha, 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 staying alive. Whereas now, when I see some motherfucker playing like that, all I think is, these are some BGs. That's a joke about like sort of a, acronym.
BG, but okay, yeah.
Keep going. Then obviously now you've got Noah, who basically, if you didn't watch LEC, I didn't watch EU Masters this split, so to be fair, jokes on me. This is the one time I didn't bother watching it. Basically, for everyone who wasn't in LEC, this guy was the worst kept secret. Like, everyone could see this guy's just a stud. He's really good from solo queue. And he's going to Fnatic. And what's more, it's Fnatic though. Remember, they're having those problems. Like, is Advn that good? They're getting Trimby as well. Like, bro, that already sounded like, this is delicious. I could see Trimby having a little resurgence. Then the joke is, you would actually think thematically it should be the opposite, because they've gotten Noah now, but it's the old lineup where all the animals were going in 2x2. You can't do it like I do, Yamato. These are just fucking Danish idiots trying to do jokes on the broadcast. They don't have my chops. So, okay, now they've got Noah, they've got the fucking stud, haven't they? And also, when you got the superstar ADC and the team has some coordination, like, the Oscarin guy doesn't even have to be that good. He can have games that are bad. He could die a few times. As long as, like, and by the way, here's the other thing about that team that I will say, is for me, the canary in the coal mine of all these Fnatic lineups is Razork. Watch Razork's face when they lose. Watch how he tweets when they lose. That's how you know if it was like, we lost, but it was a fine game. We were playing well, just easy loss. Basically, Razork is that fucking Shinji guy out of like Evangelion. If he's just having a breakdown outside the fucking mech, forget about it. The Angels are winning, mate. This is over for us. We're not going to fucking stop the end of the world or whatever. It's just over. When he actually believes in himself and he knows what he's doing, then he's actually fucking really good. Like, there's another thing. All those Fnatic fans, they used to hate on Hylissang if Rekkles was there. Then they used to hate on fucking Razork to not hate on Humanoid, to not hate on fucking Rekkles or Upset or whoever they didn't like at the time, right? Razork is just been good, even in all these like weird lineups. He's never been bad. He just had coordination issues and certain times champion issues. He is still a fucking good player. You can just fundamentally see it. He might not be the best, but he is good. Like, I would keep him around. I said this before, mate. If I'd have had to pick between the two, and I get why you can't, there's contract issues and stuff. It's Humanoid. I would have jettisoned ages ago, and I would have said, let's see Razork with a different mid. Let's see Razork with some fucking perks or something like that. Let's do that lineup. So to me, the lineup just look. It's not like the best players in every role, but the coordination looks great. They actually finally look like they work together as a team. The Razork Humanoid issues just aren't a big deal. I mean, they only lost to G2 because they're the best team, basically, like you say. This team right now is the second, or third best team in the fucking league. Just are. What's the hate?
Yeah, nothing's to hate.
It's just obviously, if you're a Rekkles fan, you are mad upset now because not only did your boy end his ADC career throwing the whole fucking game and sending Mad Lions to MSI, but also now a random person you don't even know, Korean, and we all know the Europeans are like, there should be no imports in our region, and then this guy just walks in and he's already carrying all the games. bruh, you've got to be so tilted right now.
It's pretty crazy to me that in 1 week of play, Noah has already shown me more than Rekkles. Like, what was Rekkles's best week?
He had a couple of Kaiser games last split in like the groups or whatever. He had a couple that were all right.
Isa? Or who?
Yeah, no, I mean Zaya. Sorry, he had a couple of Zaya games that were all right. Yeah.
But there was no game
it's the thing.
that made an impression like Noah's games.
At this point in time, Rekkles fans must be like Rekkles's body because they're trying to black out all the parts they don't want to see. You just can't.
Oh, Jesus.
You have to understand there's levels to this shit, bro. They're all the LCS. I'm fucking like LPL. I saved my best shit for the international. Okay. I have to bring a bit of extra spice when Yamato's on the episode. I know you appreciate it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's all good.
You keep me on my toes, bro. I'm not sweating, but you keep me focused because you're just having a jam session.
See more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, be a pleb and don't.